What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. I'm your host, Max at WeVideo, and as always, we've got another great episode lined up for you guys today. Thanks to everyone joining us from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as well as hit the bell in the top right corner so you get a notification anytime WeVideo releases a new video. You can also check out our Tuesday Tips and Tricks landing page, which is on our site underneath the blog, where you could subscribe to receive an email notification each week with a topic of each Tuesday Tips and Tricks episode, as well as take a look at all of our previous episodes that we have there. In the past few weeks, we've had a lot of amazing guests, and I highly encourage you guys to check those out. Without further ado, though, let me bring on our co-host, Tyler Wall.
What is up, Max? What's up, viewers? Hope you guys had a nice long weekend there. We had a Valentine's Day, President's Day, so it's a good one. We got a great episode for you guys lined up, so let's hop right into the editor. How about that?
Yeah, a lot of excitement for this one. If you're just tuning in and you don't know what today's topic is today we're going to be going over how to clone yourself or have a conversation with yourself using WeVideo. This is a fun one, highly requested by our Facebook business community. So I'm seeing the comments come in now. If you're just tuning in, let us know in the comments section where you're from, as well as feel free to leave any questions we'll get to kind of during or throughout an even end of the show. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we got some comments coming in. Yeah, this is a similar effect to one we've done in the past where we had 3 Maxes, but a little variation on this. So Max actually did a little interview with himself. We'll break it down. He can share some of his tips on how to set that up. But yeah, let's take a look at how we have it in the timeline. Awesome. We're getting a lot of comments. Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and play it so everyone knows what what the finished product looks like, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty on how we made this happen.
Cool. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and preview this. Let's extend our window a bit. Quick tip, if you guys want to extend your preview window, just grab these 3 dots here, and you can drag to adjust that. All right, let's play this.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Max at WeVideo. Today I'm going to be interviewing myself. Hey, Max. How's it going? Well, great, Max. Thanks for joining us. Thanks. It's great to be here. Awesome. We're happy to have you here. So today we're going to be showing our viewers how to create a video just like this. Let's get started.
All right. Yeah, so we actually put some text in here for the preview that we shared. Deleted that today. We're just going to go over the basics of how to set this up. But you can kind of already see in the timeline what we're doing here. It's just 2 clips. And Max actually did a great job timing this out. So it was a little bit of planning, right, Max? How did you go about it?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the way you make this happen is actually really straightforward. It's just basically filming 2 separate clips and then using a tripod so that your phone or camera is stationary the whole time and doesn't move. That is critical. And then next thing is you basically just film the interview one at a time, where you have to just essentially know kind of what my other Max is going to say, and you have to give time for him to say it. So the hardest part is kind of knowing how long you need to wait for the response to happen and then for you to start again. And so this, full disclosure, this did take me about 3 takes. And there are points in this where I'm like, okay, I could improve here. But we're going to show you guys today kind of what to do if you mess up, like if you don't give yourself enough time to respond, or the contrary, if you give yourself too much time. So there is kind of an instance in this video where it's toward the tail end, right after I'm like, awesome, I'm going to show you how. There's kind of a long pause.
Right.
And there's a long pause there specifically because the first few times that I had done it, I had messed up. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do it too short again. I'm just gonna give myself a lot of time, and I probably gave myself about 2 seconds too much time. But there's a workaround there that we're gonna show.
Yeah, I think you did a pretty good job. You made my life a little easier as the editor. I barely had to do anything. I just brought both these clips in. You can see I actually pulled it forward a little bit just to line up the waveforms. So a quick tip on your clips, you can actually see these waveforms which indicate where Max is speaking. You can see right here, right here. The way you do this is just hit your oops. Let's you're gonna hit this sound icon and that'll bring up the waveform. I already had it clicked, so it's kind of hard to show you. But this will show your keyframes as well. So let's go ahead and start editing this and show you how we would make an adjustment if you made a mistake. So like I said, all I had to do was just line up Max's 2 clips with these waveforms so that they're acting like an interview. And let's go ahead and hop into our editor.
Do have a question that just came in, Tyler, that might actually be good to go over now. Well, I'll say the question and we can decide if we want to answer this now or after, because I think you kind of did this earlier and we've tweaked it.
Okay.
This question's from Jacob Birch, and he's asking, is there any trick besides reshooting for eliminating the camera operator's reflection in a picture frame? What I did do was superimposed a color matched box over them as best as I could. Want to see? Yeah, Jacob, if you want to share that with us, we'd love to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I brought that up because Tyler, as you and I had kind of discussed earlier, the color was slightly off between the 2 different shots. And I think that might just have to do with, could be time of day, could also be because of like the auto correction on my iPhone.
Yeah, if you're shooting these with your phone, some phones have the option to actually lock in your exposure and your color temperature, your white balance. That's going to help with this effect because, especially in a shot like this, you can see these windows. The light's constantly changing from these. So when you shoot one and then shoot the other, you might have a slightly different exposure, and that's going to reveal this crop line, which we'll show you in a sec.
Yeah.
If they're off a bit.
So that is important to keep in mind when you're shooting. I did pull down the shade specifically because I wanted to rule out as many possible variables of a car driving by or of the trees waving that would give any indication that these were shot in 2 separate shots. Also, the shadows are a big thing to keep in mind.
Sure. Yeah, but to answer Jacob's question, it sounds like you went about this in the right way. We've gone over covering things up with a blur effect, kind of the sense or something. He wants to get rid of the camera operator's reflection. So that is a good way to do it, is just using an object like a color match, or yeah, like we can show you how to use a background to cover that up as well. So there's a couple ways to go about that. I don't know if we have a great clip for that. We don't have a reflection in this one, but maybe in a later episode we could show how to do that. All right.
Yeah, we did have another question come in from Steve Driver. You can't lay one video on top of the other, then you have to crop them. Well, we are essentially laying one video on top of the other, but yes, there's no way to, well, there is a way, and actually you can do that with green screen, where if I were to film maybe the second half of myself, the Max that's in the tropical shirt, if I were to do that whole sequence maybe in front of a green screen, bring the chair in there, I could try and pull off this cloning effect. But I'd say this way is definitely easier. All right.
Cool. So here's our crop tool, and you can see where we're cropping it. For this effect, you're going to want to pick somewhere that is, least likely to be seen by the viewer. So I'm going to line it up right with this drawer and that filing cabinet, and you can see this line is going to hide a little bit better versus somewhere kind of like here where it might be more obvious to our eyes. Let's try right there. Save those changes. And then you can see the line barely right here. Let's go ahead and play this. You might see it jump in just because this clip isn't long enough. It's not completely covering our mask.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
So you can see it pop in. A way to potentially fix this is we could duplicate this track or just shoot your clip a little bit longer. Again, that just has to do with the timing. But if we duplicate this, we can hide that a bit. Hold shift, drag up. Oops, there we go.
So shift and drag. There we go.
And I'm just going to mute this track.
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm back.
And that hides our little jump of a crop line. So a quick tip if you do mess up your timing a bit. All right. Did we want to go over... I mean, that's basically the effect here. And again, Max did a good job with his timing of the interview, so it makes it easy for the editing. You're going to want to line these up just so that...
Yeah, so let's say this wasn't lined up perfectly and I didn't give myself enough time, or I gave myself too much time and I wanted to either give room to cut that away without making it being an obvious jump cut.
Right.
What you can do is you can zoom in on the person who's talking.
Yeah, so this one right here is a little bit of a pause.
We're happy to have you here.
Right here. So Max pauses just a slight too long. So let's do that same thing. We're going to duplicate the track. And then like Max said, we can go ahead and just zoom into one section of the interview. So the Max on the left, and that will hide our trim. So we can get rid of that pause and then cut back to the other Max. Quick jump.
Yeah, so this is especially useful if you have the reverse problem where you didn't give yourself enough time, because there's no, you can't really make something out of nothing without doing a reshoot, at which point you may as well reshoot the whole thing. So an alternative would be to just scale in and focus on the person talking so that you don't see the other individual.
Oops.
Wrong one.
Duplicated the wrong one. Okay, so then we want this guy. Sorry about that. Copy. And C. And I can paste it. That's one way to duplicate a clip, or you can do that shift version. I'm going to go ahead and shrink this so I can see my timeline a bit better. And then we're going to drag this guy over. Okay. So that is where Max paused. We're going to double click this, scale it up, and then just bring this over. Again, I can adjust this so that it's just a single shot on Max. Save those changes. And this will be our one shot. So when he wants to respond.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks. Great to meet you.
So let's get rid of that pause, bring this over right there. And you're going to have to make an adjustment to the audio because remember, this track also has its audio playing. So we don't want two responses.
Great to meet you. Awesome. We're happy to have you here.
So you would either cut this clip or adjust the audio. Oh, that's not the right clip. It's this one.
Can you zoom in just a little more on your clips, Tyler?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you would either cut this clip down here so we don't have two responses, or you could adjust the audio with your keyframes. To do that, we went over this briefly. Click on that sound icon. And then let's go ahead and drop this response down. Use these keyframes, and this is just representing your decibels of audio. Oop. Be sure you grab that. If you double click these little dots, they will delete. So we don't need that many. All right, so now you can see the sandwich we got going. This is the max on the left, the bottom clip with the 2-shot, and this is the max on top right here. So now our little pause is going to be eliminated. And then we could cut and go back to our 2-shot. Let's cut it. Delete this part. And you can see it's kind of messed up because we got 2 different tracks happening. So what we want to do is cut back to right here. So let's get this guy, trim it. And then we're actually going to bring our audio back up. Bring you back up. All right, that should do the trick. And we're going to drag you over just so it lines up with this. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see my timeline well enough. All right, so let's check it out.
Today we're going to be showing our viewers how to create a video just like this. Let's get started.
Yeah, so that's the basic idea. You're just trimming the fat of that clip. So if you did mess up with your timing, that is one way to do it. Just cut into a single shot, cut back out to the 2-shot.
Yeah.
That's going to hide those edits you're making to your audio underneath.
Yeah, so if you're in an instance where you didn't wait long enough and then start responding, you would just cut that clip and move it to the end right after your scaled portion is talking, and then your response. That way you don't have that gap or you're not interrupting yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. So this is handy, especially if you're doing a much longer interview than the kind of 3 or 4 sentence exchange that I had.
It might get a little complicated. As you can see, I've already started stacking up these video tracks. So ideally, do it like Max, time it out right, take your time with the shooting process, and it'll make your life a little easier in the edit bay.
Yeah.
But
another thing is, if you don't talk and it's not the verbal communication, it's just you in the background doing something, way easier to do because you don't have to worry about audio.
True. Yeah, so script it out to make your life as easy as possible in post-production. There's the famous saying, fix it in post.
It's harder to do.
It's harder to do. But we do have a lot of options, especially with WeVideo. You can pretty much always fix the problem. It's just a matter of going about, creating a lot of tracks and cleaning everything up. So that's the basic effect there. Hopefully you guys can try this out and see what you can do with it.
Question from John Voris just asked, are you limited to how many tracks you can have?
Good question. You are not.
You can have as many video or audio tracks as you'd like.
Yeah, and once again, to do that, you're just going to click this plus icon, and then you can add a video, audio. If you have a professional plan, you can add your watermark too. That's something we've gone over in the past, how to create a custom brand for your business.
Okay, so this question just came from Your Pivot Journey. I don't understand how you get both people on screen when you can't overlay. I see where you crop.
Yeah, so it's basically just a crop, right? So
yeah, maybe we just show the 2 clips before any edits, I guess. Basically, I filmed twice. I did the first time, which is me on the left in the black sweatshirt. And then I kind of, would say, hey, Max, how's it going? Pause for about 5 seconds or so. to give what becomes a tropical max coming in to respond. And then after that, I say, thanks for joining us. Happy to have you here. And I give myself chances, a moment of pause each time. And so when I bring both tracks in, there's the me on the left and there's the me on the right. To get it so that they're both in the same screen, I take either one, either the left or the right, and I crop it so that the left half is only what I have, and that this leaves a big black gap, which is where the other video will take its place. So maybe we just show that, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to start labeling these tracks so it might help us visualize exactly what's going on. But as Max said, we have our top track here. This is the max on the right and the tropical. That's the one we're cropping. So if I double click into my clip editor and go to my crop, you can see that crop line I created. So we are only playing this side of that screen. And then that reveals our bottom track here, which we didn't crop at all. You could, if you wanted, do this in the opposite. So this could be cropped and we could put tropical max on the bottom. Doesn't really matter. You just want to be cropping one of these screens. So basically what's happening is we have half a screen. This is that clip. And then the full screen. And that is our max on the left.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, so the top track is the one that's always going to show. So that max with the black is so weird just referring. I think that's also contributing to the confusion here.
You're referring to yourself in third person there or something. I don't even know.
Is question again from John Voris. Is there a way to lower the opacity of the crop lines?
Yeah, so you were referring to like feathering. We don't have that currently. It is just that hard line. But as you can see, we were able to hide it by just lining it up with that file cabinet. And we have these reflections happening on the table too. So the line is going to be almost invisible, especially when we go to finish this and export it in its full quality. You won't be able to see that line.
Yeah. There's also, I don't know how much this would help, but what you can do is try increasing the brightness or contrast of a specific clip to try and make the colors match a bit better. We can just quickly show Tyler how to open that menu.
Yeah, you can adjust your color settings too. If you really wanted to get in depth with it, you could create even a third track here. Duplicate one of these two, crop it to that very small line, drop the opacity on that and blur it a bit, and that would create that feather effect. But that's kind of really in depth and might take a while to actually show you how to do that. So that would be a hack to make that work.
Yeah.
If you needed to. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into just adjusting the color. So you can see if we really push the exposure here, now we can see what's happening a little better. There's that crop line. Yeah, if you adjust these, it's probably going to make it worse.
I mean, you could, try playing around with that to maybe match it up better. But the key takeaway is try to get it right when you shoot. Make sure you have consistent lighting.
Yep.
And that means if you're shooting in front of a window that you can't put blinds in front of, maybe shoot at night where you're less likely to have issues outside that change.
Right. Yeah, I think locking in your exposure, locking in your color temperature, those are going to help tremendously with this.
Yeah. So yesterday, put out a question to our Facebook business community about what features we'd like to see in the future, and got an astounding number of responses, great suggestions, all of which have been relayed to our product team. A couple of the questions, though, are features that are available in WeVideo that we'd like to basically point out to make sure everyone's familiar with. The first of which is how to find additional music options in WeVideo. So that was frequent request. And if you're in WeVideo, you'll notice that there's an option for free music, soundtracks.
Yep. So if you go to your audio tab, we have the free music, sound effects, and premium music as well, depending on your plan.
Yeah.
But there is another way to find music, and we'll
So
show
this is that. Yeah, that's kind of like the predefined audio. There are additional options if you just go to stock media, which is the far left tab, and filter just by audio.
Yeah. So you could search in keywords, genre of music, feeling. So maybe like happy, we could type in happy, and then just go over to this filter here. Let me zoom in a bit. And if you click on this little drop down, we can filter by audio.
So yeah, this is good for music, but this is particularly good and much better if you're looking for sound effects.
Yeah.
Can't stress that enough. So if you're looking for chimes, we've had that request before, like animal noises, ocean sounds. If it's not available under the sound effects tab in audio, then go after that and check the stock footage or stock media and filter by audio, and then type what you're looking for, and you'll probably find it.
Yeah, the stock media is going to have a much larger library of sound effects, music. That audio section is more just predefined ones that we've picked out that are good. So yeah, if you want to refine the search even further, just click on this, and then we can go for just music. Uncheck these, and we can preview. So it should be songs that were tagged by the creators with, happy feelings, but just search what you're looking for here. It could be hip hop, and you should get a lot of different options.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna kind of go rapid fire with these features here because we're wrapping things up. The second thing I wanted to show again was how to do slow motion.
Okay. Let's get back into. I don't know if this would be a good one for slow motion. How about
we can just show how to navigate to it. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't need to really show how to. Yeah, we'll show how to get to it.
Let's go ahead and do. I know we're trying to go fast here. Nature. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so slow motion. We have this clip here. Double click to our clip editor. Click on this time indicator, slow and fast motion. And then we have a couple options here. You can select the range that you want this to happen in. So we could start by going slow, and then as soon as it hits this point, it's going to go normal speed or fast. And you could just make the whole clip slow. This slider is going to determine the value at which the speed is going, so -2. And you have a couple options here, so smooth in and out. Let's go ahead and save those changes. This should take effect on the entire clip.
Yep. So -2 means that's twice as slow.
Yep.
And then 2x would mean twice as fast.
So let's play with this range selector. I want it to start off going very slow. And once it hits a second, it's going to speed up. So that's a cool effect.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, you unfortunately for the time being, you can only do that in whole number increments. So you can't do like a 0.5 increase. So that's something we'll relay to the team. Next feature that was brought up was just copying and pasting. We've gone over this. There's a number of ways to do this, but yeah, Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, this one's pretty basic. Let me zoom in. Thanks for reminding me in the comments. We got a zoom in request. Okay, so just like pretty much any program, you should be familiar with this already. Copy and paste, right? Command C, then select where you want to paste. Command V, it's going to paste it right there. The way that we like to do it, I think this is a little bit more effective and gives you a bit more control. It's just select the clip, hold Shift, and then drag into where you want to put it. So it could be this track here, or you could go to, as long as it's a video track, or depending on what the clip is, if it's audio, you can just drag it. It's going to create an exact duplicate and place it right there.
Awesome. Question from your pivot journey. Can you control speed of audio by percentage? So I think that, what he means is, can you do 25% increase? Unfortunately, for the time being, no. So you could do 100%. I mean, you could speed up audio, I think, right? Actually, I don't know if you can do that.
Oh, adjust audio. It's a good question. We haven't played with that, but let's see. I don't think you can.
Okay. If it is a video track, you can. And obviously it'll affect the audio, it'll make it all sound weird, but
yeah, right now we're just limited to these increments that you see here.
Yeah,
it does have to do with because we're providing a cloud-based solution. A lot of the frames per second and getting into those things becomes very complicated. So you are just limited to these right now. But we are always looking to improve. So.
All right, so this kind of ties into our last thing that was brought up, and that was, how do you split audio and video? So start this off with the premise here. You can't take audio and separate the video from it, but there is a workaround. Before we get into the details here, there is an option to obviously export audio only, and then you could re-import that. And then you have your audio track file. So that's also a good alternative. Option 2 is you can duplicate a video track. So let's say, we'll duplicate this one, Tyler. Duplicate this video track, and then one video track, you lower the transparency so that there's no visual component. It's completely black, and you still have the audio. And then with the other video track, you mute it, so all you have is video, but no audio. And you've, in turn, separated video from audio.
Right. Let me go ahead and just clear out our timeline. I want to make this simple as possible for you guys. All right, so we have this clip. Let's say we want to have audio separated, right? So like Max was mentioning, you're going to drop the opacity completely. And now we just have the audio. And then on this one, we're going to drop the audio completely. And now we just have the video. So I actually do want this guy.
Yeah, so you probably want the video to be on top, but.
So now my audio is represented by this. And if I click over it, it's completely blank because our opacity is down. So I can adjust Max's voice. Probably wouldn't be wanting to do it in this situation because he's going to be out of sync. But let's say we were covering this up with some shot of a leaf, and Max is saying, "Hey guys, check out this leaf." But we want the audio to hit up exactly, right here. We can now adjust that so that it doesn't have to be in line with our video clip.
Perfect.
Hopefully that makes sense. I don't think that, there's definitely situations where that comes up a lot. So it's a comment we've gotten in the past too. But yeah, basically just drop the opacity of one, drop the audio of the other, and then you have both clips.
Awesome. We're nearing the end of our episode here today. Before we leave, we're going to show our featured video of the week, which is actually a preview of our special guest next week. So go ahead and check it out. I'm going to play about 2 minutes of this because it's a 45-minute long video. Here we are.
Where do you get your B-roll, and what is B-roll? What do you use for editing? Do you do it yourself, or do you hire an editor? What if you want to make a vertical video to share on social? These are all questions that I get all of the time from people in my Facebook group. So I thought I would show you what I am using for editing, the program I found about 1.5 years ago, why I love it so much, and give you a little walkthrough of some of the features that it has so that maybe you can decide whether or not it is right for you. Hi everyone, welcome to joining me today. So excited to see you. I am Karen Carr with YouTube for Agents. I am flying solo today. Don't have a producer running the back end of the show, which means we're probably going to have a lot of mistakes. So bear with me, and hopefully you will laugh about it as much as I will. I need to pull my comments up on the screen so I can see what everyone is saying, because that is my favorite part. Show me the comments. So what am I using for editing? I have been using WeVideo. I started with iMovie, which was great. It's free. It comes with your Mac. It's totally free. But because it's free, it doesn't have a lot of features. It's kind of limited. So then I graduated to Final Cut Pro. And a lot of people said it's no big deal. You go from iMovie to Final Cut Pro. It's a piece of cake. Well, I call BS on that. It was quite a learning curve for me. I am not a professional editor. It took me a long time to learn it and feel comfortable with it. Then you had to like render the video, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Render the video before I can download it and upload it to the platform where I wanted to share it. I mean, can you feel me, you guys? Do you feel the same way when it comes to editing? If this is not something that you've done your whole life, these terms don't really mean a lot to you. So then Melissa Spatel in my YouTube group, who I will be eternally grateful to, said, have you ever heard of WeVideo? And I said, why no? No, I have not. So I investigated it and said, oh my God.
All right. So that is a preview of Karen Carr, who I had the pleasure of interviewing, and we will be showing that next week. This is going to be a great episode, everyone. We'll be getting kind of into the deep nitty-gritty of YouTube, pulling up some stats, some numbers there, so you can see what effect WeVideo has had on her business, how many views she gets, all the kind of traffic and details there, as well as just tips and tricks that she's learned over the past 1.5 years using WeVideo and is able to essentially grow and become an influencer.
Great stuff. Yeah, tune in next week and get some more insight.
I'm just taking another look at the comments here, and it looks like that's it for the questions. Thank you to everyone who's kind of singing the praises of WeVideo. Love this editor. Love this channel. Thanks everyone for joining us. You guys make this show awesome, and you contribute to each topic of the week. And be sure to tune in next week.
Sorry, I cut you off there. Yeah, appreciate all the comments this week, guys. We saw a lot of different places. Oxnard, CA. We got UK, London, Chicagoland. Good stuff. All right.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again for joining us, everyone. Be sure to tune in next week. It's going to be an awesome show. As always, it's a wrap. Happy creating. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.